Rejoice! So a while back, about 2 months ago, Alzorath and I were talking about after the Button Mash podcast, and he had like a whole thing to say about how it was like the big promise upcoming best YouTuber NA or something, and he had this idea that I should talk about Roman and Greek and classical history, because that can catapult my channel into instant fame or something. And I'm like, no, and then he bought me Rome Total War to make me do that. So then I'm obligated. So now I'm doing this now. The deadline for me to do that was March 1st, and it's now March 21st. So GG, bro, no re. But yes, so that's why this video is called Alzorath's Folly, because how dare Alzorath try to be a supportive and kind individual, right? So anyway, this is the Battle of Lake Trasimene. I posted a video in the Rome Total War historical battle of that months ago, but the Rome War historical battle, to be honest, I don't think was particularly well done. Honestly, it could be well done because it's not something that could be done well using the Rome Total War engine, but that's why I'm here to talk to you about it. So the backstory is it's the Second Punic War. Basically, Carthage has been around for a while. It was the big colony of Phoenicians. Dido came over because she was left, and then Aeneas came down, and it's that's mythological history, not real history. But Aeneas came down, and then he betrayed Dido, and Dido got all mad, and then Aeneas went off to found Rome, and it was a whole thing. It's the Aeneid. It didn't actually happen. That's what the Romans like to think happened. So oh well. But basically, Carthage was a big sort of power in modern-day Tunisia, North Africa. They'd sort of spread out over North Africa, and then they had colonies in the island of Sardinia, and Sicily, and southern Italy, and then some other colonies over in Spain. And I'm sort of trying to do my hand movements, so it's reflected, because obviously that's mirrored from what I see, but I'm sort of remembering half remembering, so I think I have both Spain and Sicily over here. Hi Spain, hi Sicily. It's tectonic shift, don't worry about it. So also the little picture of me is sort of laggy. I move my hand, it moves okay, this is, I'm gonna make that picture go away because it's distracting. But yes, so basically a Carthaginian ship washed up in the Roman shore, so they were able to reverse engineer to make their own fleet, with which they sort of obliterated Carthage in the First Punic War, and then they made Carthage do a bunch of embarrassing reparations, and they took a bunch of their territory. It's basically what caused World War II. So the Carthaginians, much like the Nazi Germany, were rather pissed off by this, and basically the Hannibal's dad, big Hannibal Barca, famous guy, made Hannibal promise to never make peace with Rome. And little 9-year-old Hannibal, okay, we're gonna do this. So Hannibal was appointed sort of governor general guy of the Spanish province, and when there was a opportunity to make war with Rome, he did so. And so war happened. He had this big fancy idea to move his army into Italy and fight Romans on their own turf, because obviously, he couldn't fight a naval war because the Romans now controlled the Mediterranean, so he couldn't actually bring his armies up into Italy. The big trailer for Rome Total War Rome 2 had this, its best trailer ever. You should watch it. I will actually post a link to it in the comments, probably, because it's sort of, outlined his options well, but the only good thing. And then the game was released, and it's terrible, but that's irrelevant. And this, by the way, is why I could never do a history channel. It's just me trying to talk and then getting distracted about stuff. Yeah, organization, not what I do. But he led his army famously, either allying or conquering the Gallic tribes in his path. He led it through Gaul and then over the Alps and down into Italy. The initial Roman army was sort of defeated at Trebia. And then after that sort of catastrophic defeat, the Roman Senate appointed two generals, Gaius Geminius and not Gaius Geminius, it is a Gnaeus Cerilius Geminius, and also Gaius Flaminius, to sort of try to conquer the Carthaginians. So Flaminius' army moved out to meet him, and Hannibal had this, obviously, he has to feed a massive army, but he doesn't have any supply lines like going through the Alps, so he just has his army. So he has to forage off the land, which means basically stealing the local Italian farmers' crops and leaving them to die. Good guy Hannibal. And so Flaminius, obviously, this is a nice thing for the Italian farmers, so Flaminius sort of doesn't really like this, and he's just he knows he can't really meet Hannibal head on because Hannibal would win, because Hannibal outnumbers him numerically, but he's just sitting in his camp, and then finally Hannibal has done taking the food from all the farmers in that area. So then he moves off to Apulia in southernish Italy, and Flaminius decides to follow him to sort of try to stop him from doing that, obviously. So that's where we're at, and the sort of the road to. Actually, I should make this switch to Minecraft now. See you in Minecraft. Bye. So Gaius Flaminius' army pursued the Carthaginian force heading towards Apulia. Along the Malpatha road here, which at one point brought them through a defile, and then once they had debouched, out to briefly along the shores of Lake Trasimene over here. Now, it was getting night, and once it became night, time set night, the Hannibal ordered his men to make campfires to deceive the Romans. Oh yeah. See, they ordered their men to make campfires, as seen over there. Ooh, you have no idea. This is my first time using redstone ever, and you have no idea how long that took me to do. So he ordered his men to make a campfire to deceive the Romans into thinking they were actually over there, while he meanwhile hit his men with the cavalry over here, then the light infantry. Where are you, light infantry? The light infantry died. The light infantry over here, the Gallic light infantry that he had picked up while moving along the Alps, because the Gauls didn't really like Romans, hence in Gallico, etc. And then the heavy infantry were over here, the Carthaginian heavy infantry-ish over here, and then so sort of this is the once the Romans had commanded his had come out onto the Malpatha road here, in what remains the largest ambush ever, the largest ambush in the history of always. He had his cavalry come out. Go cavalry, go charge! Yeah, you could do it. Charge! Charge! Charge? Yes! Charge! You can do it! Charge! Charge! Or you can go that way. So the Roman army was divided into three groups by the ambush. The last group over here, the last group to enter, to debouch, as it were, from the defile, was set upon by the Gallic cavalry that charged, and were pushed into the water, where they were either killed or drowned. The middle part of the army, including the General Flaminius himself, was set upon by the heavy infantry of the Gauls here, and where they fought for 3 hours and were destroyed. The advanced guard of the Romans here were able to fight through the lighter skirmishers and largely escape. So yes, the Carthaginians brought to the battle 55,000 soldiers. Of those, 2,500 were killed, and the forces of Flaminius brought 3,500. 35,000, yeah. Brought 35,000 to the battle, of which 15,000 were killed and 5,000 were captured, according to the Roman authors of the time. The 5,000 were promised to be set free if they surrendered, but were instead sold into slavery. Then again, these are the Romans talking, and you can't really trust them, as obviously like bias is the thing. The authors. This is the Carthaginian flag, by the way. Yeah. So this is sort of like the of the three big battles in the Second Punic War. This is the second one, as I said, the largest battle in like the largest ambush rather, in Always, and it was so large that in fact, according to Livy, a big earthquake happened, and that wiped out like a big part of Italy, and it was like so intense, the battle, that neither army actually noticed that an earthquake happened. So to honor Livy's wonderful liviness. Did everything break? This is the part when I remember that I forgot to do something. Yeah, this is my my representation of the earthquake of Lake Trasimene. It's more of a river. I don't know. To be fair, like this area of the map was just like actually perfect for a like Trasimene. It was like I barely even had to landscape this at all. Like it's like there was a defile, there was like a hill for a camp. It was wonderful, man. But yeah, that did more damage than I was expecting it to do. Yeah. And now for our aftermath. Time will pass the road. Yeah, now for the aftermath. Funny story. I just like, for some reason I assumed that the previous, like the intro video I did was like playing. And I was like really confused. So I was like walking around and like I just like got like really confused. Like there was like video playing and I didn't know what to do and like I didn't know how to make it stop. Turns out that was just like my reflection in there. It's just like a thing. I'm just like looking at myself, trying to be confusedly looking at myself, trying to be confusedly looking at myself or something. So yeah, that's fun. But yes, so the aftermath of the big battle. This is the big second loss by the Romans, and this obviously, like, Rome had never really sort of been, like, defeated majorly before. Well, this sort of, like, made people a bit worried. They gave Flavius the command of the Roman army, which caused him to adopt the Flavian strategy of sort of, like, avoiding the battle to try to wear down the Carthaginians, whatever, that they, obviously they only had so many troops that were, like, brought over the Alps. I sort of want to talk a bit now about sort of like Hannibal's sort of end goal at this point, because the Flaminian army that Hannibal had defeated had sort of been trying to protect Rome. So the big question is, like, if Hannibal had his army in Italy for like 16 years, was like almost as long as I've like existed, which I'm like, why didn't he try to take Rome? Instead he just like let Rome be and like continue to like fight against him. And why didn't he try to take Rome? And sort of that, like, I never really felt like this sort of was like adequately like examined by the people. So that attacking a city is a lot harder than it seems. Like in Rome's World War, you want to go and attack a city, you go there, you sit outside it for like 6 months, and you like, one turn, and you have like you build like some siege towers, some battering rams, some ladders, and then you like go on it, and like if the armies are roughly evenly sized, then they're roughly evenly matched, because like whatever. But it's sort of like it doesn't work that way. Because sort of like the way it works in ancient times, that like you push a ladder up into the wall, they push it off, and then you die. Or like this is sort of the why Pericles had his famous strategy of connecting Athens to the ocean by the long walls to the port of Piraeus, because like the Spartans couldn't actually like get over the walls. Like you can't like sure Sparta can siege it, but like they had the naval the grain coming in. I don't believe Rome actually was connected to the ocean like that. Like, they had the, oh dear, this is something I probably should have looked up, but, I could be wrong on this, but I believe that they were connected via the Tiber, but that the Tiber itself didn't have any, sort of boundary, so it would be possible to besiege, but, like, Hannibal, again, was just living off the land in, Italy, and he didn't really have the resources for a long, protracted siege, so that was out of the question. Then, like, so, obviously, like, this was, like, as opposed to the Athenians, like, the armies were a bit larger in those times, and then, like, they did sort of have technology had advanced to the point where he would have the ability to make siege engines, but it still wouldn't be anywhere as near as, like, something like Rome's War would depict. And even then, like, you have to actually get to the walls and actually, like, fight the army, and fight through the army with, you know, all the Roman citizens that are protecting their homeland for being, like, you know, annihilated. So it was just, like, the city of Rome, you know, like, it was just like a sort of be very difficult to do, and, like, he'd be, like, really outmatched. So that's why he never did that. Like, there's a big famous quote, Hannibal knew how to gain a victory, but not how to use it. Like, it's sort of difficult to, like, take Rome. Then his strategy instead was to try to win Rome's Italian allies to his side. Because they're, like, you know, the allies in Italy never really had the most loyalty to Rome, because at the time that Rome first started to get power, there were different sort of factions in Italy. There were the random generic Italian tribes, you know, the Sabines are one that, like, were raped the Sabine woman, like, the famous one. It's like other ones, the Samnites, I think, yeah, Samnites. And then, like, there was the Greeks themselves along the south, and I think it's just the Greek colonies along southern Italy. Then there's the Spartan colonies themselves in, like, Sicily. Then there's the Etruscans north of Rome, and the Gauls to the right of the Etruscans. So yes, so that Rome obviously conquered all these cities, but for the most part, their loyalty to Rome was predicated more or less on, like, how likely they thought it was that Rome was going to be able to come back and punish them. And I mean, so that Rome was able to secure some loyalty off the other faction in their own right, so that, like, for the time, like, sort of Rome had this policy of actually, like, normally when you conquer an area, like in the Trojan War, like you kill all the men and then make slaves of the women. Rome didn't really do that. What they did is that they did actually, like, give conquered areas, at least initially while they were in Italy. This policy stopped being, like, once they moved beyond Italy with Carthage, but they would give the conquered areas an offer of Roman citizenship. So they're, like, sort of welcome the conquered peoples into their fold. Sort of like why they would still rather be independent. They still didn't really hate the Romans as much, which is why, like, Hannibal did have a fair number of other cities to desert to him, particularly in the southern area, but he didn't really have that many, which is why, but, like, Rome could never really conquer, which is why, in the end, Scipio Africanus had to go to the Battle of Zama and fight the Carthaginians on their home turf, because they had a lot of allies supporting them in Italy, and then eventually those allies were punished, as it were. And to quote the big lord of the Gungan people in Star Wars Episode 1, they will be punished. Jar Jar Binks is the hero our people do not need. That's sort of the aftermath of that. Yeah, and then a year after the Battle of Lake Trasimene, the Battle of Cannae, like the biggest battle, like, biggest defeat Rome ever suffered. It was sad. So yeah, go Hannibal. I hope this last 7 minutes have made sense. They probably haven't. Oh well. Now you will possibly get to see a high school me being terrible at video production. If you don't, then this will be very confusing. A little talking me to you thing right now. But meh. That's sort of like the policy on my channel, that if it makes sense, then you aren't doing it right. So, and This is why you will never see a historical video ever again, unless this is like one of the random things that people just like decide is like the best thing ever, because they do that. Seriously, like my subscribers are like so supportive. It's weird. But yes, so thank you for sitting through this. If you did indeed sit through this, and I will say heart, make a little heart symbol. I will say goodbye.
Hey there, guys, Flaminus Nappus.
Give your report, soldier.
I saw with my own eyes, so I did, the Carthaginians in last March. I was unable to perceive their movements with utmost accuracy, yet I received the most strong impression that to Folly they marched by means of the Lapiso road.
Surely you do not ponder action. We must await the coming of the legions commanded by Servilius. As things stand, Hannibal outnumbers us by 10,000, and not even the glory of the eternal city is enough to...
No! Look, Hannibal brought destruction about Highschool-Tulkas under our very noses. Are we to thus permit him to desecrate Apulia and sunder our allies from our host? The Senate would not stand for it. Ever since I was made tribune of the plebs, they have loathed me. I cannot tolerate any further insults. Muster the legions. We march now!
The accursed Romans have taken the bait. Flaminius is telling them to push ahead at double speed.
Excellent. Well discerned, Gisco.
The Romans are comprised of many, many men. I fear this place may not be the most suitable for the battle.
Another thing that has escaped your notice, Gisco, is even more amazing. That although there are so many of them, there is not one among them called Gisco. Behold! There lies the Lake of Trasimene, largest in all of Italy south of the Po River. Hither the Malpasso road, and thither are heavily forested hills. There we shall encamp, and our ambush shall cause the vermin to fall even as... Your outsiders approach. Come, to the hills! Carius, here's the beacon over there. Get go. Alone among men, they covet with equal eagerness poverty and riches. Through robbery, slaughter, plunder, they give the lying name of empire. They make it solitude and call it peace.
Alright, guns up. Ready, guys? Let's do this. Leroy Nugget! This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die.
Oh my God! What's going on?
Hands up. Good. You're going to get into me. Now. There's a small hit with you. Nectar!